What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about a restricted free agency situation for one of our players, and I think you guys all know who it is. Today, I want to talk about Patrick Williams. I want to talk about a potential team that could be interested in Patrick Williams and what that means for the Chicago Bulls heading into a very interesting free agency period. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about Patrick Williams, and would you like the Bulls to keep him around for a couple more seasons? And obviously, what type of money would you be interested in that case as well? And if you don't want him to stay, where do you think he'll go in restricted free agency? So, the reason why I want to talk about this is ultimately there is one team that, at least publicly it seems, is declaring their interest in Patrick Williams, and that team is the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder are interested in Patrick Williams and ultimately could have a say in potentially landing him in restricted free agency. So, this instantly, assuming this is true of course, takes away from a lot of people's speculation for a lot of things. Number one, I've heard a lot of people say Patrick Williams will not get any restricted free agency, interest. That clearly, at least if this is true, is not the case. Oklahoma City is a team that made, very good strides in the NBA playoffs. It's one of the youngest teams that made the NBA playoffs, was really, really good in the NBA playoffs, and ultimately is looking to get another player that fits their timeline. Someone that could be a 3-and-D guy, matches their age bracket, and ultimately can bring something very valuable to an Oklahoma City Thunder team. That shows interest. So instantly right there, those people saying there's no interest in Patrick Williams, I think that's a lie. And I ultimately think as time goes by, because there's still a lot of time before we have to make this decision about Patrick Williams, there will be more teams that come out and pursue their interest in Patrick Williams. I don't think it's just going to be OKC. But so far, that's the publicly known team that is interested in Patrick Williams. Number two, people do believe we could get better than Patrick Williams out there. Here's the thing, right? You're probably right. You probably can get better than Patrick Williams in terms of, a production-based player. There's a couple things I have, questions for in that regard. Number one, if you're going to get better than Patrick Williams, how much are you going to pay? Because ultimately, Patrick Williams is looking for a payday. I do see him getting a good chunk of money. What type of player are you looking at that's going to be better than Patrick Williams? And if you can find one, how much is he going to get paid? Will he get paid more than Patrick Williams? Will he get paid less than Patrick Williams? Another thing you have to really understand is that Patrick Williams is still ridiculously young and still has potential to be much better than what he is now. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar. I think that ship is moved on. I really don't think he's going to become a superstar in this league anymore. But to be a very valuable role player, a very good starter in this league, I still have hope for Patrick Williams in that regard. And I truly believe he could get the job done in that regard. So, you might be able to get someone better than Patrick Williams. An example. Let's just say Torrey Craig. I know he's on the Bulls, but let's say if he wasn't on the Bulls, let's just say we went and got Torrey Craig to replace Patrick Williams. Is Torrey Craig better than Patrick Williams? Well, I think the league stats will show he's probably better than Patrick Williams. But Torrey Craig is also at an age that there's no improvement there for him most likely. Whereas Patrick Williams is so young, there's still improvement there. So just because you can find someone better does not necessarily mean you can find someone that could be better in 2, 3, 4 years' time. And I really believe the Bulls have to consider their future in this department as well. So instantly two things right there. Yes, you could probably get a better role player or a better player than Patrick Williams, but will he be available for a cheaper price? And does he have the potential that Patrick Williams does have? I think everybody can agree he has potential, even if it's not superstar potential. So those are two questions. If you can honestly answer that question, confidently saying we could get a player that is cheaper than Patrick Williams, better than Patrick Williams, and has more potential than Patrick Williams, then maybe we should go and pursue that player and leave Patrick Williams to the Oklahoma City Thunder or whichever team might be interested. So that's my thought process on the situation. With that being said, should the Chicago Bulls pursue and keep Patrick Williams? Well, this is where things get very interesting, because we mentioned in the last video talking about DeMar DeRozan and how DeMar DeRozan is seeking a payday, and he could get paid up to potentially even more than 40 million per season, even if it is on a shorter term deal. That's a lot of money to just be throwing around, especially if you don't trade Zach LaVine this season. That, I don't even know how that's possible, in all honesty, but it might be. How am I supposed to know? I'm not necessarily the best financial person to talk to in that regard. And then you have to re-sign Patrick Williams. You might have to go and bring other assets in, like another backup center, like another forward, and all these other positions that we might need. That's a lot of money to be throwing around. So it's not necessarily, do I think we should keep Patrick Williams? The honest answer, the honest question here is, can we actually keep Patrick Williams? That's honestly my, that's my biggest question, because I don't think everyone's going to be doing what a Coby White did. For example, Coby White was a restricted free agent last season for the Chicago Bulls, but he signed before any other team could even get a chance to get a sniff of trying to get Coby White to their team. He signed straight away. The Bulls did a very good job in convincing him and bringing him in for the contract that he was on. And I think the Bulls did a heck of a job in that department. Does Patrick Williams do the same? I honestly don't think he does. I think he will explore what other teams have to offer him. And therefore, things could get really ugly. Because if teams like OKC are interested, they could probably offer him a decent contract. Do the Bulls have the capabilities to match that contract? But my answer is yes, I would like to see Patrick Williams stay around. I think for, how old is he? 22 now, maybe? 22, 21? 22, I think. Or maybe even 23, I'm not sure. There's still a lot of room to improve by the time he's 26, 27, 28 years old, where he's entering his prime years. And you could get him on a relatively okay deal. You know, again, I'm the type of person that says I don't want him paid more than Coby White, but I see him getting paid more than Coby White. I would not go above 20 million for Patrick Williams. If, a big if, OKC walks in, offers 20, 25 million for Patrick Williams, you have to let him walk. That's my honest opinion. But if we have the capabilities to keep him around on a rather okay deal, even if it's slightly overpaid, I would consider keeping Patrick Williams around, because he's a very good 40% from the three-point shooter that has capabilities to be a strong defender. Yes, he will not be a superstar in this league, most likely, but that doesn't mean that he won't be valuable. I feel like people are letting their emotions get in the way in terms of what a player is. Everybody thought 4th overall pick, we're getting a superstar, we're getting our cornerstone piece. Ultimately, that hasn't worked. And I think because that hasn't worked, people have now turned on Patrick Williams saying, well, he's never going to be good for the Chicago Bulls, it's best to just get rid of him. Whereas he has shown he's a good 3-and-D player. He's shown that he could be a very good forward in this league, even if he isn't a superstar caliber forward. So I would like to give that a chance and see if there is potential growth in that department. But of course, everything comes with a price. And the Bulls are going to put themselves in a very limited situation. How can we come out of that? Well, that's not our job. AK and Mark Eversley and the Bulls front office are going to have to figure that out. But ultimately, for the short term, I think OKC posing interest is a big threat for the Bulls. And if the interest comes out to be true, we could be in serious trouble of losing a good 3-and-D player. We'll wait and see if we can recover from that, and we'll wait and see what ends up being. If you're focusing just on next season, for example, it might be better to let Patrick Williams go. Because next season, you could go for the short term, go and sign that 30-year-old that's better than Patrick Williams, but ultimately has no upside. But if you're looking for the long-term future, and that's something I'm really thinking about, that's why I've been so much talking about cornerstone pieces, and we need to find our next piece to build around, you have to think about your future, and I do think Patrick Williams still has a future with the Bulls, and most importantly in the NBA. I think there's definitely a conversation there as well. So let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.